Apparently, I'm live. I'm definitely alive. I'm alive live. How are you all? Wow. There's a real cabling. There's a lot of potential disasters around my feet here, because where I normally put my feet, there is the firewire cable to the power. Hey, this could all end in tears. We could be in the middle, and suddenly the Pro Tools session freezes. Andrew is here. Yeah, there's ports on the back as well. Anyway, hope you're all doing marvelously well. Uncle Monkey says he missed the last 30. Yes. Well, this is truly wonderful. It is a Thursday morning here at 10:30 a.m. in sunny Los Angeles. It's rather beautiful. My hair is a mess as usual, so we can get that out of the way. Yes, I don't run one of the hair channels, but maybe I'll bring a stylist in. I am joking, of course. But maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll have a hairstylist. No, it's not that important. So how is everybody? We have Alexi, I see we have Kenneth, we have Ben, we have Jean-Francois, we have Vinny, we have Mike, we have Linus, we have Thomas, we have Clay, loads of Academy members here. Mark, Clay, as he reminded me the other day, is a lifetime member. Thank you, my friend. For those of you that are lifetime members, I've never had a bad day. Well, thank you. Bad hair day. Well, exactly. You see, you got my point. My bad hair is good hair. See, bad hair is good hair. Good hair is bad hair. And the last time I checked, he says, looking around his room, I work in the music industry, which is a little bit more, what can we say? A little bit more forgiving with this stuff. Supposedly. Maybe not. So I'm trying to get my chair higher so I'm in the middle of the frame. Look at that. There you go. So here we are, back with some more rock and roll. Hi, Anne. I just saw you pop up there. You said you were mixing the song for the competition. That's a pretty amazing, it's going to be a really, really, really good competition. Hello there in Israel. Hello in Santa Barbara. And sorry, the microphone is drooping. That's what she said. Well, good, Jan. I'm glad you can also agree with me on the bad hair. So, hello in France. Congratulations on the World Cup win. It was a fantastic performance. You were definitely the best team in the whole World Cup, so you deserved it. How tall am I? I'm just over 6 foot. I believe I'm 6 foot and a half an inch. And why do I know this? Because of Eric. Because Eric was always claiming he was 5'9". And we were like, you're not 5'9". So we measured him, and he was 5'8" and a bit. And then he's like, well, how tall are you? And I said, I'm 6 foot. And actually, I'm 6 foot and a bit. 6 foot and a half. So I don't know what the half really means, but yes. What competition? Well, there is a mixing competition that is currently out. And I think if you go back about 3 or 4 videos, the song was called Right Here. And we're doing it with the amazing, the rather wonderful channel In The Mix, who are incredibly talented, lovely guys. Michael is a great producer, and his channel is blowing up because it's FL Studio, and there's so many people that use FL Studio, and they love, up-and-coming people love his channel and love what he does. Rightly so, because he's incredibly talented, and it's a great, great channel. Lewis said your remix was awesome. Woohoo! Congratulations. Yeah, there's been some fantastic remixes. So if you haven't already entered, please do. Also, as ever, please subscribe. If you're watching this and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We do at least one of these, usually 2 live streams a week. I realize that there's lots of really professionally edited videos out there that are, taking all the information that's given and re-editing it and rehashing it. But what I really felt like was missing was this ability to connect and do it in real time and mix stuff together and talk about it in real time and answer answer the question. It's just called In the Mix, Nathan. I'd have to look it up. It would be easy, just as easy for you to look it up. It's called In the Mix. So go to YouTube, go In the Mix, and you'll find it. So yes, I really wanted to do more of this, where we mix live and we show you, what it's like to actually mix a song in real time. Now, today we're back on the same song that we did on Tuesday. And the reason for that is because we're having a course at the moment that we are selling for charity. And the charity is one that's very dear to lots of our hearts and basically came about because of Mr. Dick Wagner. Dick Wagner was, who unfortunately is dead, hence why I'm talking about him in past tense, was one of the most influential guitar players, almost... In the 70s, he pretty much played on every other album that you heard. He did very famously played on Aerosmith stuff and Kiss stuff, but he also played with Lou Reed, with Steve Hunter, who they played a lot together, on the album Rock and Roll Animal, which I highly recommend, Rock and Roll Animal. He also played guitar with Peter Gabriel on his first album, and the list is endless. I mean, a phenomenal guitar player, was a first call for Bob Ezrin and... of course, Jack Douglas and a bunch of other guys. And I met him through Jack Douglas. So he came to me a few years ago through Jack Douglas and asked me to work on this project with him. And so this is an important one. And if you've watched on Tuesday, you'll know it's Danny Serafin on drums. It's Leland Sklar on bass. It is Elliot Easton of the Cars on drums. Jennifer on drums, on guitar. Did I say drums? Push. Elliot Easton on guitar, and then, of course, Jennifer Batten on guitar as well, Freddie Mandel from Elton John's band on keys. It was just a phenomenal lineup. It was really, really amazing. So what I thought I'd do is I'd open up that session and do a little bit more to it, because we didn't get to vocals, and just because I was just kind of mixing it on the fly, in the box, on the fly, using some new plugins, having some fun. It was pretty wonderful. So the YouTube people are rather lovely, and I spoke to one of them yesterday. And they had watched my live stream. It's very nice of them. They're very, very on their schnizzle. And they said to me, well, because people will buy us lunch, which is rather lovely. They use what's it called? The super chat, and they'll buy us some lunch and things like that, which is rather wonderful, makes it all worthwhile. But they suggested, so I'm going to say it now, that if there's any things you want me to concentrate on or questions you want me to ask in the mix, then that's when you can use the super chat. So use the super chat if you want to talk about certain things in the mix, you want me to focus on certain things, even if you want me to see if I've got a certain plugin. We can have some fun with it. So don't be afraid to use that super chat and get a little control over what's going on for a second. All right. So, Michael was there, but there were so many amazing guitar players. I mean, when you've got Dick Wagner, and he was still playing fantastic considering he'd had a stroke when he made that, he's still a fantastic player. But yeah, Elliot Easton, Jennifer Batten, got the coffee, Paul. I have the coffee here. I am, Ryan, going to do something. I have been threatening to do something with Stephen's plugins, and I will. I started a song, and we haven't finished it. We've been working on other things, but the song that we're going to do is one that you can download all the tracks, and so it's going to come. It's going to be pretty darn fantastic. Okay. Watch this space. Alrighty. So here we are. I'm going to go and do Screen and Me. Look, I'm over here now, in the top. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm good. I'm glad you enjoy the emails. Coffee at 65 degrees centigrade or so. Oh, it's over 100 today. It's at 90 something at the moment. But we are sitting in an air-conditioned studio at the moment. Okay, so where do we get to? Let's do a quick recap. Yes, that's a good idea, Fairnosh. I think we will at one stage. Let's do a quick recap. So we're going to do all of the live drums. And that was rather wonderful. That's with Danny singing. Did we just lose the screen? We did. Where'd it go?
Go to copy.
But it was on the. But it was on there for a second.
Yeah, I think sometimes when.
We're having issues here. Okay, so here's the drums again, and you can hear Danny singing along. And when we did this the other day, you notice we did like some, here's the EQs we did on the kick. And it's just like, you know, bringing out low mids basically. And we had the Coles here. So the only other fun things we were going to do was like, we were trying out the new plug-in boutique plugins, which was the SSL ones. So we tried some of those out. But here we are, we're back with something really, really, really simple. Tom says he sounds like an Indian medicine man. But, and then we went and we did some bass stuff. Here. Yes, Plugin Alliance. Did I say Plugin Boutique? I do keep doing that. It's pretty funny. I apologize for that. Yes, Brainworx, Plugin Alliance. So let's do a couple of fun things. So let's add those delays back on the guitars. So at the moment, looks like I've got a bit of reverb going. Okay, so let's find a different delay then. If Echo Boy is not appearing in version 12 here. What do we have? I mean, the H delay is always a favorite of mine. See, what I did though here is I actually have two mono delays. Now, you can set up, depending on your DAW. Some DAWs, you know what, I only use a couple. I only use a couple of different DAWs. I only primarily work in Pro Tools and sometimes in Logic. So I'm not as au fait, I'm not as familiar as the rest of you that work out in other DAWs. But you can see you've got, in Pro Tools, you've got multi-mono or stereo. So if I go to a multi-mono, I can send actually a little easier. So what I can do is I can create a stereo auxiliary. Like such. Make that 4748. And call that delay electric. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. And I can hide those, the ones that I don't want to use. Delay. I put that capital T, capital E. That's my COD American for you. Okay, so if I go to a multi-mono, means the reason why am I choosing a multi-mono? Well, I'm choosing a multi-mono because it means if I send to the left, it will always only be the left. If I send to the right, it will always only be the right. That might sound really obvious, but if you use a stereo plugin, the way that a lot of stereo plugins like reverbs and delays work is if you send a signal to the left, it's going to still dissipate through the whole room. Imagine you're standing on the left-hand side of a room and you shout, "Hello!" It doesn't just only sound on the left-hand side. So it creates a stereo image, which is wonderful. But in this instance, we don't want that. I'm using my delay. So I've got Jennifer, for instance, who is these two guitars down here. Let's play her. This is Jennifer Batten. So I've got her right-hand guitar. If you see the reverb, the send for the delay here, it's panned left. So I've got one guitar over here, it's delay over there. Another guitar here, it's delay over there. That's why I'm using a split mono, not a stereo one. So, for instance. You hear that? So you hear all of her delay on the opposite side. Put the two together where she's got one pan one way and one the other, and you get this beautiful width. And then, of course, we've got the same thing going on with Elliot Easton. All together. I don't have those Abbey Road chambers to try. As far as I know, maybe they're in there and just hiding. I don't think so. But thank you for asking me. Because now I want to. I really do. Now I really want to try them. You are like a hurricane. I don't think I am. Yeah, Elliot's amazing. Dual mono is just dual mono. It means that you're able to pan to one side of your delay and keep it independent from the other one. Yeah, it's a nice harmony. So you can tell that Jennifer's got that kind of Jeff Beck phrasing, doesn't she? She played with Jeff Beck. That kind of... Yeah, it's a great room. It really is. I mean, Sunset Sound is one of the best sounding rooms in the world. And if you remember when we went through the drums on Tuesday, and please go back and check out that video, you'll remember that we only had one pair of stereo mics. And the reason why we could only have one pair of stereo mics is because all of these guys and girls are playing together. Everything was 09. Everybody, Leland's bass with one edit in it and one edit in the drums, like moving a beat. This is everybody playing together. So, yeah, and here's the rooms. Now, I did put a little extra reverb, but it's a great... She did play with Michael Jackson, you are correct. So, yeah, the drum sound, the room is amazing. Hey, Doogie from Scotland, Queen Team 74. Yeah, anything with Queen, we're happy with. Oh, I agree. Jeff Beck is beyond one of the greats. He is the greatest of the greats. Did I ever tell you talk about Queen and Jeff Beck? I'd tell you my Queen Jeff Beck story. So I went to Jeff Beck's house in '99 and hung out with him and played some guitar. It was phenomenal. I had a wonderful day. I can tell you hundreds of stories about that. I know the masterclass guys got to hear me tell some Jeff Beck stories. But as I was there for the whole day and most of the night, and as I was leaving, the phone rang, and it was like the only time during the day I heard the phone ring, and it was old school, answering machine, beep, and in the background, and we kept talking at the door, and we were talking about guitars and stuff, and Jeff Beck goes, I'll just go and check that message. And so he goes and checks the message, and you hear the beep. And he comes back like 2 minutes later, and he goes, oh, that was Brian, but Brian May. And of course, I'm like a little kid while my hairs are standing on end. I'm like, oh my God, I'm with Jeff Beck, and Brian May just called him. And he says to me, do you know Brian? And I was like, no, I don't know him, but I know his vibrato. And he looks at me and he goes, "Lovely, innit?" It's just such a guitar player thing to do, such a geeky guitar player thing to do, that we're both like just talking about what a beautiful vibrato Brian May has. Yes, we did talk cars. We talked lots of fun things. He talked about his house a lot because he spent a long time restoring it. His house is beautiful. He has an Elizabethan mansion built in 1591. All right, so we got this far. This is how far we got. We added in the electrics. We did the and then you heard the Leslie come in. Bit of Wurlitzer. Oh, somebody just pointed out, please like and share. Hit that like button and share the schnizzle. And if you want me to work on anything in particular or ask me any questions, you can use the super chat. All right, so what we didn't get to is vocals. So let's put in Mark Farner. Love is what you get. Now, who knows Mark Farner? Mark Farner, of course, is the original singer of Grand Funk Railroad. Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live. Cool. Grand Funk Railroad's original singer, and a very, very wonderful guy. Everybody on this recording, of course, because it was for such an incredibly important cause, was really wonderful. If you haven't yet, please like and share. I'm actually going to go on. I'm going to check. 279 people watching. Thank you ever so much. That's wonderful. And 101 likes. So if all 279 of you could like this, it would be absolutely stupendous. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. We do these all the time. And yeah, Mark Farner was lovely. And let's get people knowing that we're doing this. So what did I do originally? This is what I originally did. Love is what you get. So as you can see first, there's a de-esser on it. Love is what you... On that... Love is what you... You can see it working. Can you... Everybody see it okay? Love is what you... You saw about 3 dB of cutting it at 5.5K, which is a really horrible kind of area. Love is what you get when love is what you give. Now, I am using an RVox here. Love is what... Pretty gently, like a 1 or 2 dB. Big fan of that plugin. And I'm using another de-esser, believe it or not. Love is what you... So what happened is like I like to use a de-esser initially. You know, I like to use a little bit of a de-essing on it just to kind of cut that aggression in the high mids as the singer intended. You know what I mean? The way before I start getting too crazy on compression and EQ. Then once I compress, of course, all of those things are going to be exaggerated. So you see after the RVox, I've got one de-esser, then the RVox, then another de-esser. Both of them are doing something. Love is what you see. You can see another 2 dBs worth of it gone there. So all of this is happening before I even apply an EQ. And then here's some nice high mid kind of like, and I didn't go that high. I went about 2 or 3K because I was trying to get a little bit of aggression. Love is what you get. If I bypass it. Love is what you get. It's just a little bit of aggression. Now, this is all going through a vocal bus down here because there's multiple singers. So they're all going through one bus. Oh yes, actually no high passing yet, but there's about to be. And there's a bit of a trim which I just brought down the input. Doesn't really matter. You can do it a million different ways. It was just, with each singer we had pretty consistent levels. You can see here these are all different singers. Here's Trini here, Trini Lopez. There's Dick's vocal there. There's actually the original. See, anybody can recognize this voice. Do you know who this is?
Got to find the time to change the world.
It didn't. We tuned it a little bit. It suffered a little bit, so I'm not going to talk about it. But that was another singer, an older gentleman who was rather phenomenal. Anyway, nothing's ever perfect. Okay, so in our vocal sub here, little high lift, another de-esser to control that. Then there is some low-end roll-off. So, yes, I'm high-passing it. I am high-passing. I know. Say it ain't so. But I heard you're not supposed to high-pass. Yeah. Okay, so... yeah, so we're high-passing there. Every guy and girl who knows what they're doing high-passes a lot. You just have to know how to do it. Not doing it just because, somebody learning how to do mixing is telling you that. Please remember, high pass is your friend. The low end takes up so much energy. You just need to get into it and understand how to detail it. There is no high passing madness. It's high passing logic. All right, next up is a little R comp.
Love is what you...
Again, like 2 to 3 dB maximum compression. Then a Larvox.
Love is what you get.
Couple of dB. So what's happening here is there's this sort of serial compression. I know a lot of people have been copying that discussion from me and everything, but it is important. Serial compression is really a great way of doing it. Each compressor works in a different way, and you'll find that when you do things like high passing, de-essing, and compressing, if you do them in stages, you'll get a much more natural result. Sorry, we have to go here to our view and turn on our other inserts. Here we go. Now, what am I doing? I'm going to do this. Hold on a second. Because I can hear the AC in my microphone. Sorry if that's putting you off, but I don't want to turn the AC off because it's hot. Okay. So what am I doing? At the end, I'm going to stick on, yes, you guessed it, the new, wonderful, plug-in Alliance, Brainworx. I'm going to put on the E. Because normally the last thing in my chain is always, yes, you guessed it, an SSL. It's funny, somebody trolled me yesterday because I got excited about the Townhouse. Like, he said another 367 emulations. As far as I know, unless I'm wrong, there is no emulations of the Townhouse compressor. Their new Townhouse compressor, as far as I know, is the only one. Thank you, David. I'm glad that helps. An old gentleman, yes. The Townhouse compressor is fantastic. And like I said, there is no 367 emulations, but it's wonderful. Yeah, I can't. You may be right, people who are guessing, but I'm not. I can neither confirm nor deny who that singer was. All right, so here we have the E. Let's have a listen.
Love is what you get.
He's got a pretty darn even voice. I mean, all we've done so far is roll off a little tiny bit of lows, probably just for some rumble coming through the wall, maybe some AC noise, who the heck knows. But we're getting rid of the low lows that we do not need. We're high passing because you don't need those low frequencies. Just because your little speakers can't hear them and just because somebody on YouTube tells you don't need to is not right. You need to high pass. Even if you can't hear those low frequencies, still use a high pass, because if they're in there, they will cause mud and they will build up. If you've got 85 to 100 tracks, which is most people these days, especially if they're mic'd up tracks, if you're not high passing, you're leaving so much low-end information. And there's nothing worse and more embarrassing than going and sitting in a room with Bob Ludwig, this happened to me, and hearing through your speakers because some idiot on YouTube told you don't need to high pass. So, you definitely need to high pass. Okay, so even if you're not hearing it because your little speakers don't pick it up, or you're rather beautiful, shout out to Blue headphones. Woo! Which ones are these? People asked me last time. Are these the Lolas? I don't remember. Where is it written? I think... Oh, I just hit the microphone. Smash. Boom, wallop. I think these are the Lolas. Maybe not, but they're wonderful. Clutch the pearls. Okay, so... What am I going to do? I'm going to high pass again up here. He's doing high passing. Say it and so. Yeah, they're the Lolas. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Andrew. So I'm going to go up a little higher. I'm going to go up to about 70. You know, about here. Yeah, it's a little high passing. Okay.
Love is what you get.
And there's absolutely no difference. But there is. It's cleaning it up. I find that high passing, remember, the slope on this isn't like this. The slope is kind of gentle. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can give it... You can high pass twice, especially when you're compressing. Because what's going to happen is you're going to compress it, you're going to high pass, then you're going to compress a signal. And yes, the low sounds get louder because that's how compression works. So you will want to high pass again. And then somebody will tell you that if you look at the waveforms, there was a shift. I don't care what they look like. What does it sound like? Remember that. Okay, I'm throwing in all the gems today. Now, typically with some singers, I might go and pull out a little 600. Now, we're grouping all the singers together. So let's get the next singer, which was Merrily, who was phenomenal.
You can change the world, save a little child.
There's a little bit of this, a tiny bit. So we could go to about 600-ish, which is a typical place for a little bit of nasal build-up.
Save a little child, if I had the time.
So I pulled out the tiniest amount. And this is all done by not using a visual. This is all done by using my ears. Did you notice that? So typically, I'll brighten this a little bit more. So it's,
Save a little child, if I had the time, I could change the world. Got to find the time.
Okay, so what have I done there? I've gone to about 13 or 14. I boosted about 3 dB. I'm just getting some high end over the top. If we make that a shelf or a bell, yeah, let's keep it on a shelf. And to be honest, and I've got a little 6 or 7, so I've kind of just added some high end over the top. But let's go back to Mark and see if that's affected him, because we're doing a bust here.
Love is what you get when love is what you give.
There you go. No, it's sounding great on him. Now, let's get some compression going.
Love is what you get when love is what you give.
I'm getting about 3 to 6 dB, so that's probably about 3 or 4. I actually am not afraid to go a little harder.
Love,
So I'm going to turn the input gain up here.
love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share.
There was a moment there, I pulled it back down a bit, where it got quite... it says, low frequencies add up, so the high pass is good to give it clarity. Right, you are correct, sir. Okay, here we go.
Love is what you get when love is what you...
So with him, that little extra, love is what you get. I'm actually getting a little too much of it, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to take this de-esser here, and I'm going to duplicate it across.
Love is what you get when love is what you give.
I like the air it's adding. See, for me, it's like, if that's going to be too much of a problem, I'll do this.
Love is what you.
If it's too much of a problem, I'll just go in here and do this.
Love is what you get.
It's too much, but you see it basically does it. You know, don't be afraid to just automate to volume rise.
Love is what you get when love is what you get.
And it's really subtle. I mean, I probably don't. It's like I'm just being super anal here and like giving you examples of things you can do. But, you know, I don't mind de-essing and doing little volume stuff. And then, of course, if you want, you can also go into clip gain and do all of that as well. You can do it all in clip gain. There is a million different ways of doing what we want to do. So if you wanted to use clip gain, if you want to use volume automation, I traditionally have always done things with volume automation because that's what I grew up. I grew up on using consoles and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, well, I don't want to use the vocal rider on this, Victor, because I'm not trying to bring up those moments. I'm trying to, if I use the vocal rider, that's to even out the vocal after everything, all the details been done. It's the last thing I'll put in the process. If you put a vocal rider on this, it will exaggerate those things. Okay. It's close to Star Spangled Banner. Huh. Anyone know the best 2-track Nevian? I was looking at BAE. Once left and right channel. I'm a big fan of BAE. So if you're going to ask me, I'm going to say I have a lot of BAE. It's a 1028 down here. It's my vocal. My vocals will all be cut with a BAE. They have been ever since the Frayed How to Save a Life. It was before that, but that's the first big one. Aerosmith, James Blunt. You name it. Adele, Someone Like You was cut with a Neve, a BAE 1073. So go and listen to Someone Like You. That was the BAE. Yeah, it's all been done like that. All been done.
Love is what you get when love.
Vocal Rider is a great tool. Okay, so let's do a giveaway. We're going to give away this. Can you explain? Oh, a little confused. Can you explain serial compressing some more? Like what my signal change should look like. So what I'm doing is I am putting a de-esser on the vocal first before applying any kind of EQ or compression. Then I'm compressing lightly. But that 2 to 3 dB exaggerates a little bit more of the S's. So I'm putting another de-esser afterwards. Then what I'll do is I might run another compressor. I might even brighten it some more, just lift the high end a bit. Basically, each time you compress lightly with different styles of compressors, typically it's serial compression, but you're not just doing compression, compression, compression. You are like de-essing, compressing, maybe de-essing some more, maybe adding some high-end boost, then compressing again. What I like about compressing into a compressor, that's wrong. What I like about EQing into a compressor is you're brightening the whole vocal and then you're squashing any boost down back into it. It's a very, very typical SSL trick. The way that SSLs work, the way that we love it, is you go EQ into compression. And when you do that, it gives you that pa, pa, pa sound. It really is a big part of the SSL sound.
Love is what you get.
One hater, it's because I mentioned high passing, and the guy that's is propagating that myth always dislikes my videos. It's okay. Sibilance is a bitch, says Santiago.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share the life you live.
Cool. So there it is. Thank you. Yeah, CLA. You're chipping away a little bit. No one thing is overdoing it. Exactly. Gautier is talking about it. The thing for me is like each compressor I've ever used, and you can tell, look, I have a lot of schnizzle. We are mixing this entirely in the box. As you can see, there's not a single, it's all 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's all going to stereo. I don't actually have anything on a master bus on this stereo at the moment. This is all, you're hearing everything with no master bus, compression, EQ, or limiting. But as you can tell looking around my room, even though you're only looking one direction, if you look around, you'll see there's an SSL console there, which has dynamics on every channel. It has compression and EQ and expanders and all kinds of fun stuff. And over here you'll see a Trident. You'll see an Ampex. You'll see there's an LA2A built into that Ampex. You'll see a DBX. There's Lyman 76s. There's Spectrasonics. There's Neve. There's BAE. There's more DBXs. There's another DBX. There's another Uri 1176. There's the Tegela. There is Vertigo compression. You know what? There's too many to mention. I have so many different toys, hardware, compressors, and stuff like that. I have used everything you can imagine. And of course, when I'm in a studio like Sunset, like I was in a week or so ago with Daryl Thorpe, I hope you watched those videos, United, you name it, 2 weeks before that, and Blackbird for a few days. I mean, obviously Blackbird has everything, Fairchilds, you name it. I get to play with all these different compressors. I get to play with all these different toys. And nobody you know sits there and does 20 dB of gain reduction on one compressor. Maybe they want to sound like a... But when it comes... Sorry, Mikkel. When it comes to mixing, using serial compression is the way to go. And I know a lot of people talk about that, but I talk about it from a perspective of having used them, not the theory of it, you know. What did you order a pair of? What did you order? I didn't see it. Oh, Alan Heath and SSL are part of the same company now. I did not know that. Well, that's good. Oh, well, thank you. Wrong direction. Okay, so let's do a giveaway. We're going to give away this course, which is going to be absolutely fantabulous. And sorry, Academy members, but I just want to let you know, Academy members, we're doing Feedback Friday. It's going to come up on Saturday. But if you haven't already, for the Academy members watching, I don't think we sent out an email about it, but inside the Academy we have, it's up, isn't it? The John McBride. John McBride's up in the Academy, isn't it? So there's a John McBride interview from the masterclass. We were blessed to have a whole bunch of guys come down. Now we will put a shortened version up on YouTube for those of you that want to see the interview with John McBride, but there's the full-length version is up on the Academy for the Academy members because you're all special. You're all special. Okay, first of all, would you like and share? And all you lovely people, all 300 of you watching, please like and share. And also, we're going to do a giveaway. We are going to do a giveaway. And the giveaway will be, of course, for this beautiful course, for this wonderful, wonderful cause. And you know what? Grand Funk Railroad are a band growing up in England I didn't actually know. I did not know it. Those hardware compressor names don't tell me anything. Well, basically, when you open up your plugins, and it's interesting that you would say that, because if you open up, I'm assuming you own plugins, because look, every single one of these plugins here, almost all of them are emulations of hardware. So here is an LA2A emulation. So all I'm telling you is I own the hardware versions of the software. Here's a 3A. So every time you open up a plugin and you're saying you don't know the names, look and you'll correspond with what I'm saying. See, BF, that's an 1176. These are all emulations of the things that you see in here. So that's what I'm talking about. And then there's the crystal algae versions that Waves do, which are all wonderful. They're really, really good. And then, of course, what we've been talking about, which is the Plugin Alliance, which is... So if you're not sure what the names are, go and check it out. See? Solid State Logic, Brainworx, SSL 4000E. That's a 4000E channel. So when I'm talking about the plugins that we're using here, here's the hardware. Does that make sense to you now? If they don't mean anything to you, well, they should now. So I'm saying, if you know a piece of software, you know the hardware. So let's do a giveaway. I I am blessed that I have these hardware. Yes, I'm very, very, very lucky. Thank you. So the giveaway is simple as this. When I was in England, I didn't know Grand Funk Railroad. I barely knew Kiss. They weren't that big in England. You know, the music scene moved really fast over there. So by the time 76 happened, it was the birth of punk rock, and that's when Kiss were getting huge over here. So we just didn't get them. So there were some sort of bands. There's some bands that I didn't know. So my question is, what band? This is to win this free course. My question is, what band did you discover later on? Something really obvious. What band have you discovered that you're like mind blown that they're just so good? What is that band? For me, Grand Funk Railroad was one of those. I think Aerosmith got big in the 80s in England. So I remember the Aerosmith, like discovering them by Pump and Permanent Vacation, then going back and buying Rocks and Toys afterwards. There's certain bands that just were maybe American only, or vice versa. There's bands, English bands. Yeah, Cheap Trick came up. Cheap Trick weren't as huge in England as they were over here. So what are those bands? Joy Division, Zappa, Wire, Free, Queen. Yeah, that band that you just like discovered and were like, where have they been my whole life? Ronnie James Dio, great one. Iron Maiden, Humble Pie, Steely Dan, Chris Robinson, Black Crowes, Japan, that's a great band. The James Gang, another amazing band. Coldplay, Rush. I'm looking at these, Queen, Deep Purple, Saxon, Eagles, wow. Tool, Pink Floyd. Triumph, yay. Bob Bradish. Big fan of English bands, thank you. ELP, Queen, Kevin Gilbert, yes. Yes, Pink Floyd, Stones, Styx, Queen, Kansas Journey, Zappa, Terry Reid, Jeff Beck. See, Terry Reid's another one. Didn't know who Terry Reid was because his kind of legend grew over here, and then I came to America and was like, everybody was telling me about Terry Reid, and I was like, huh, who's that? So even though he's English, I discovered him in the US. Noel Gallagher, Spirit, Toto. Spirit were another great one. I discovered them as a kid, and I remember their version of Walking the Dog, where you could hear that electro-harmonics pedal on it. I think I went out and bought an electronics... Rory Gallagher, great one. I bought an electronics pedal because of that. All right, Matt, are you going to choose somebody here? Yes, he did. Paul Smith, Radiohead. Aha, wow. So you discovered Radiohead a little later. Crazy. Paul Smith, congratulations, Paul. Okay, so moving on. We've done Mark's vocals, and we just sort of like got a generic vocal print. Now, I took off all the effects that were here on the piano intro because I wanted a very pure sound. But these are effects that I printed using hardware. Let's have a listen.
Love is what you get when love is what you give.
So this H3000 trick down the bottom here is that effect that I use where I'm detuning left and right, left and right.
Love is what you get.
And if you put the vocal in, you'll hear. Check this out. You'll hear that the vocal feels like it's pushed forward with this effect.
Love is what you get when love is what you give.
Now I'll play with it turned off.
Love is what you get when love is what you give.
Okay, I'll bring it in and out. This is the vocal thickening trick. Matt, can you put a link? Could you mind finding that video, the vocal thickening trick on YouTube? Our version, the first one. Or maybe Andrew can do it. Somebody can find it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play it with and without. You're going to hear it come in and out. I want you to obviously look for the solo button. I'll do the finger up for on and the finger down. So I'm going to start down.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live.
Isn't that pretty huge what it does? The vocal thickening trick. It's not loud. It's like you don't hear the effect of those detunings on their own, but just listen to it again. It's an amazing trick. Check out that video. Check out the video. Don't use it loud. It's not about being that audible. It's about what it does to the vocal. So once again, so I'm going to start with it off. Watch out for the solo. Off, I'm going to point down. When I turn it on, I'll point up. But I don't think this is that subtle. I think you're going to love it. So here it is off.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live. If I had the time, I could change the world. Got to find the time.
I mean, it's a monstrously good trick. It's as somebody said, monstrously, so I'm stealing it from you. Thank you, 59 Strat, you rock. Yeah, it's such a good trick. I came up with it after working with Dave Jordan and, of course, Jack Douglas. But it was Dave Jordan that got me started on this. And I read about it and heard about it. This is before the wonderful world of the internet. This is before we had this, before we had YouTube. I'm being American there. The Morphoder's there as well. Did I use the Morphoder on this? No, I don't think I did. Yeah, I did, yeah. No, I didn't. You're correct, I didn't. So we'll leave that for another day, Anne. So this trick is phenomenal. I got this because I was told about it. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but the person that told me about it initially in England said it was a very, very popular Pink Floyd vocal technique. Then, and this is in the 70s, when these units first started coming out, when Eventide first started producing units. Jack told me about it, but the first person who actually put it into practice was Mr. Dave Jordan in the late 90s, when I was working with Dave Jordan. Check out Dave Jordan's resume. It's insane. He did Remain in Light by the Talking Heads. He's a phenomenal guy. Really, really wonderful. Hey, Todd Patterson, how are you? Thanks for your lovely comment. So, yeah, there's all of these wonderful guys, and Todd will know Dave as well. Won't you, Todd? From 3&G. So there's, it's a wonderful, it's a wonderful effect. In the mix, it's just phenomenal. Like, it's going to be a little bit more subtle, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to mute and unmute it during the mix. So I'm going to start off with it off.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live.
I mean, it's beautiful, it's subtle, but it just pushes that vocal forward, and it's not all volume. Obviously, it's adding additional volume, even though it's at minus 20.3. It's super quiet. It just helps push it forward. Yes, there's lots of people are talking about all the different plugins. Yes, there's Waves Doubler, there's the Particle, there's all these other things, but done really, really well. And the other thing as well is, like, when I printed this, I also did print it with quite a serious amount of compression stuff. Yeah, I believe it's August 7th on the... okay, let's keep going. So the next one I do is I print a tape delay. Here it is.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live.
How many cents off? It's -3 + 3, -6 + 6, -9 + 9. And sometimes I'll do -12 + 12. And I do it opposite. So you go sharp, flat, and then flat, sharp, sharp, flat. You know what I mean? I don't just make all one side 3, 6, 9 minus, and the other side 3, 6, 9 plus. I do this, so it's not all flat on one side and all sharp. That would really be weird. Do I tweak the doubler? Well, see, the thing is like it's brain salad surgery. That's a good reference. J37, love it. Now, this is actually a real tape.
Love is what you get
This is real tape. This is actually an Echoplex, which is sitting over there. But you can do it with any tape plugin. The great thing about it is I hit it too hard, and of course it distorts.
Love is what you get.
It is distorting. Okay, so let's bring it down to where it normally is.
Love is what you get.
Very quiet. Put the three things together.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give.
It's just to... Yeah, Alan Parsons did some amazing things. Okay, so what else have we got going on? We've got reverbs, which have got to be set up. Well, that's why we're here. Okay, so let's take Mark's vocal and let's choose some reverbs. I'm going to experiment. What reverb should we try? Let's make that output 1 and 2. Let's just go into the stereo bus. Just going to the stereo bus. I've got MV2s. You know the MV2. Matt, please put a link up to the MV2. You'll see it on every mix. Okay, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to choose reverb. There's some. We can do some free ones. We've got the deverb. I'm actually opening this up. I've never used this before. They gave me this to try out. I've had it for 10 days.
Love is what you get.
Wow, I like that. I just opened that up for the first time. They'll be very happy. Thank you, but I just opened it up for the first time. So that is a default setting.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life.
Wow. So there you go. So room size. So it doesn't give me like a... See, I'm used to like a 3/4 of a second. Let's have a...
Love is what you get. When love is what you give.
Oh, here's reverb time.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give.
All right, I'm going to put the MV2, so I'm giving it more level going in. Not only am I giving it more level, I'm also compressing the vocal going into it, so it's more control.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live. If I had the time, I could change the world. Got to find the time.
Oh, I really like that. I like it because it's dumb. I know it's got lots of controls on it, but it's actually quite dumb. And I mean that in a very respectful way. And they do not know I'm doing this. This is completely spontaneous. And, you know, I'm mixing everything up. This is like, I have no allegiances here. I just love good things. So everybody knows that the MV2 is a wonderful plugin. Anybody with a brain knows that. Everybody knows that the R bass is a wonderful plugin. They're game changers. But this is a different company, and I love this reverb.
Love is what you get.
And it's dumb because, look, reverb time, reverb size, room shape. Actually, I don't even know what the room shape will do. It'll probably add some different reflections, obviously. So let's mess with that.
Love is what you get.
Oh, what was that?
Love is what you get. When love is what you give.
I know whatever that is. How do I save this? That is fantastic. Oh, look. I'm playing with all kinds of things here. I've messed it all up. Which is easy because I can just...
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live.
Wow.
Love is what you get.
That is so good. Okay, so I can just click on here and pre-delete.
Love Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live.
I don't want the pre-delay on.
Love is what you get.
I love this modulation here.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life.
That probably would be fun. I don't need it. I don't need that. But that would be fun if I only had one plugin.
Love is what you get.
Oh, I don't like that. See, the stereo width thing is weird for me. It's like, it's not just on this plugin, it's in general, because all it does is mess with the phase. But this is an amazingly good plugin.
Love is what you get.
And then there's EQ here. So it's really dumb. And I'm dumb. See, we have this discussion a lot. And we'll do another giveaway in a second. But we have this discussion a lot. I don't want the pre-delay on it just because I've got other delays and other stuff. And also because that effect I use, the vocal thickening, is slightly delayed and does a little bit of that. But I love it. What's good about that plugin, and let's pull it back up again so you can see it. I'm sorry. What I like about it is it's dumb like me. Because we talked about this on Tuesday. Part of the problem is like, this looks complicated, this SSL, but it's not. Once you learn one channel, there's just 40 of the same channels. Most gear, if you can see in the distance over there, is like 3 or 4 or 5 big knobs. And a lot of the time, some of the modern stuff is too complex. I think Waves, actually, God bless them, did a really good job with this, with the MV2. Look at that. Hopefully you can see how clearly easy that is. Low level, high level, bring up the low level stuff, make it louder, take the high level stuff, squash it down, even the whole thing out. It's why it becomes one of the best compressors, just overall dynamic controls. How about that? Dynamic control plugins on the market. Yeah, I am dumb, because what I mean is, like, I want to be instinctive. When you're mixing, when you're creating music, when you're just creating full stop, you want to be able to work and be instinctive. You want to be able to just reach for something and create what you're hearing in your head. You do not want to bring down a menu and look at 10,000 different things and try to figure out how to boost or cut a frequency. You want to be able to reach it and go, bright, you know. That to me is... That's what it is. Am I going to sell my SSL? Who knows? You know, for me, it's like, it's all about how quick I can get from the idea in my brain to the reality here. So things that are easy to use, which is the MV2, and of course this, because look at it, it's got 3 knobs: reverb term, room size, room shape, damping control there, bit of pre-delay, source distance is an interesting idea, and then the modulation where you can pitch it. All of this, it's really, really smart. It's actually like a more interesting, more sophisticated version of Avid's reverb, which I like. I like Avid's reverb. I am not one of those guys, you know, that's like, no, they'll reverb. And I'm not one of these guys. I don't do that. For me, it's like, here's Avid's reverb. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. Look at that. It's dumb. I like it. It makes sense. You know, so I have absolutely no problem. That's the air. You know, I can go, that's the air one that comes with it, or I can go the deverb. I mean, it's so dumb. I love it. So I like things like that. So this is good. I'm very impressed. Well done. And I wasn't prepared to do this, but this is the whole point. We're just making things up as we go. Okay, so next up we've got an echo. Now, we don't have Echo Boy in version 12. So let's see what else we got. What do we got? What's an EC300? Oh, we love this. We love this. Okay. All right. We don't have a license for a Mac DSP. All right. Okay. All right, so okie dokie. All right, so the BX delay 2500. So da da dum 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 da 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 da. Let's have a look at this. Here's a good tip if you want us to try out your plugins. Give us a license that lasts more than a few days so we can try it out. We're just trying to help here and educate people and learn ourselves. So thank you, Brainworx. This is their new one.
Love is what.
Okay, so mix control, 100% wet.
Love is what you get.
Oh, my fault. I haven't changed the output. Here we see, I told you I'm dumb.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give.
Oh, I like the tap function. Let's try that.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live. If I had the time.
So I'm going to make this more tape-ish. What do I mean by that? I am going to high and low pass.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours.
I'm going to add some distortion.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live. If I had the time, I could change.
Love it. Okay. If I go to 8-bit, it's probably going to be...
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time.
So the 8-bit, oh, that was insane. Let's go back to 24.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live. If I had the time.
So I've taken the shape down here.
Love is what you get. When love.
So I'm keeping it dark. I'm distorting it.
Love is what.
Go to 2.
Love is what you get. When love is.
It's a little too much.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live. If I had the time.
Yeah, it's a great delay. So look what we have here.
Love is what you get.
So I'm sidechain compressing the delay. So let's take it. What's happening is the vocal is sending back to the delay after it. Okay, that just sounded completely wrong because it was. I'm ducking it. So watch what's going on. Bus 10 is coming from the lead vocal. So I'm sending the lead vocal to the delay, yes, but I'm also sending it to a compressor after the delay. So every time he sings, it reduces the volume. As somebody pointed out, it ducks the volume of the delay. So let's have a watch what it's doing on here and listen to what it's doing more importantly. But the reason why I ask you to watch is because you'll just see a visual of the compression. So listen and look at the same time.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the...
Nice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually copy that delay down here because I'm going to double time the tempo. So I'm doing this all just by tapping. It's kind of nice.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give.
So I just went tap, 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 tap. Love is what you get. I'm doing this. So I like doing this. I like it not being exact and to the grid and a little humanity. It's interesting. I work with a couple of guitar players I respect over the years, and they never, ever, like, they don't want to know the tempo. They don't want to know the tempo. They just want to tap with their foot on of their, they just want to tap their foot on the delay pedal to get the tempo because they want it to be just a little bit more organic. They don't want it to be exact. Because singers don't go, love is what you get. Well, they do if they're doing EDM and they're completely, you know. I'm sure it has a built-in ducker.
Love is what you get.
Oh, I love this transient shaping idea.
Love is what you get. When
Oh, I love that. I want to turn that up.
love is what you get. When love is what you give.
That reminds me of Lennon.
Get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live.
Oh, so good. All right, let's put it in the track.
Love is what you get. When love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live. If I had the time, I could change the world. Got to find the time.
Fantastic. So remember, all this course is available, and all the proceeds, everything, all the profits go to St. Jude's. Okay, let us move on. Let's do one before we do the kids' choir. Let's do another giveaway. So, and thanks for Brainworx for giving us those plugins to try out and show everybody. I wasn't planning on doing it, but it's what happened. Okay. It does remind me of Lennon because I think of Tony. I think of that Sergeant Pepper there, that kind of delays on his vocals are all over the place, especially if you've ever heard the multi-tracks. Not that I'm saying I have. You know, there is violins, viola and cello, and the cellos and stuff like that. It was all done by Ray Colcord, God rest his soul. Incredibly talented man. Anyway, so let's do another giveaway. So my question is, what is your favorite delay? What is your favorite delay plugin? What do you use? I want to know. And you will win a copy of this wonderful course. You get all of these multi-tracks. You get to download them and play with them. So in the meantime, I'm going to set up the choir. So tell us, thank you ever so much. Please tell us, what is your favorite? You know, instant karma, yeah, exactly. Instant karma's gonna get you. What is your favorite delay plugin? H delay? I was going to open the H delay. Eventide, Echo Boy. I love Echo Boy, we just don't have it on this. Lots of Echo Boys. Echo Boy, H delay, Eventide, Echo Boy, H delay. Oh, you have the course, fantastic. Waves, Echo Boy, Sandman, H delay. Lots of H delay, lots of Echo Boys. That's okay, Mark. You can say you don't have one. H delay, Kramer tape. So lots of H delays and lots of Echo Boys. The filter delay in Ableton. So stock delays, that's great. I use a lot. I can't overestimate the Avid stock Reverb plugin. I use the plate on that all the time. Echo Boy, H delay. Stock plugins. Oh, DD7. Nice. More waves. UAD precision. Eventide waves. The snooze button. Oh, Lauren. Congratulations. What's your favorite delay? The snooze button. TCA Electronics multi-tap delay. Crystallizer is great. Crystallizer is great, yes. Space Designer. Oh, Valium FM1. Congratulations, Valium F1. All right, so last but no means least, we're going to get on and we're going to talk about the choir. Now, we had two choirs. We had the initial choir, which was recorded on the same day, and then we came back another evening only and recorded a kids' choir. So let's have a listen. So here's the kids with everybody else.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live.
One more time.
Love
I love that. And it's just kids. It's kids. We've got a whole bunch of kids in Studio 2.
Love is what you get when love is what you.
Here's the main singers.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share.
They weren't my kids. My kids were too young, or at least my daughter wasn't born when we did this. She's only 3. We did this about 4 years ago.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life you live.
I mean, there's nothing really going on in the kids. I mean, we've got a little bit of compression and a little bit of de-essing. Just because, well, listen.
Love is what you get when love is what you give.
I mean, we actually had them in a room, but when they were rehearsing outside, because it was at night, outside the studio. And so we just threw up a mic. You know, oh, thank you, John. We're all kids.
Love is what you get when love is what you give. Time is yours to share. Share the life.
It's just beautiful to have that energy, you know? Have the energy. The drums are rough. I'll let Danny know. Jimmy doesn't like our drums. Okay, I really like those drums. Feel free to tune out, Jimmy. Okay, so I don't know. I think those sound fantastic. I think Danny was a wonderful drummer, and it just sounds like the drums in the room. Bye, Jimmy. All right, so you know, what this is like what we've got here is it's a wonderful thing. We've got all of these guys, Danny Seraphin, the drummer, and Leland Sklar, the bass player, Elliot Easton from the Cars, all these wonderful people all took time out of their really busy lives to come in here and do this for free to help this amazing charity. This is St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. These are the kids that are dying of cancer. and this is their last resort. This is the last place they come. This is where it's really, really, really important, and it's really important to me. And you know, if you're going to troll, go troll other people that don't care and are just doing this for other reasons. But everybody involved in this, from Dick Wagner and Susan Michelson and all of these wonderful guys and these musicians, and people were flying in from all over the place. Mark Farner does not live in Los Angeles. A lot of these players do not live in Los Angeles. They flew in specifically to do this stuff for free to help a really amazing cause. Sunset Sound, God bless them. I'm glad you trolled me, Jimmy, because this is what's important. Because these people like gave hours, days, weeks sometimes of their time to do something to help people. It's so easy to sit there and just troll and be like, I'm superior, these drums are rough, bro. To do that is really missing the point. This is a really beautiful thing. And I please don't ever come back to my channel. Please don't. It's just, this is about, what's wonderful about what we do here is like, this is a place where everybody helps each other. It's really, really a beautiful place. If you feel like, you know, you just want to be superior, because I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. It's just, this is a really, really beautiful place where everybody helps each other out, and we don't have those kind of egos. There's lots of places where guys are like superior and telling you not to high pass and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let's keep this positive. You know, if you want to trash talk, lots of great places to trash talk. There's lots of places that hate on this kind of stuff. And that you can go and join that community. Go and hate everybody and tell everybody that they're wrong and you know best. But that's not here. This is what's beautiful about this community is that everybody's coming together here to help these kids and do something really wonderful. And we're all doing this for free because it's really, really important. There you go. Well, thank you, Vinny. I appreciate it. Yeah, let's keep it. Let's keep it positive. Okay, but I think it's important. It's important sometimes to call this stuff out. Sometimes you let this stuff go, but I also want to encourage wonderful people here because we have such an amazing community, and I want to keep that going. And yeah, there you go. Matt's posting the comp. So basically, we're near the end here. Let's go and listen to some more. Let's go and listen to some more stuff. So what we did is we split the guys and the girls up. Here's the dudes.
If I had the time, I could change the world. Got to find the time to change the world. If I had.
Thanks, Leslie. I think that I'll put you in contact with the St. Jude's people. I'm just establishing a relationship with them independently of the initial thing we did. And everybody's making donations, so they all go independently. It's very transparent, by the way, because it's very important this stuff is transparent.
If I had the time, I could change the world. Got to find the time to change the world.
Together?
If I had the time, I could change the world. Got to find the time.
Together with Mark?
If I had the time, I could change.
Oh, sorry, that's Marilee. Sorry, Marilee. That's Marilee.
If I had the time.
Now let's throw in the main ones.
If I had the time, I could change the world.
So basically, we did the main ones together. So this is all the guys and girls together.
If I had the time, I could change the world.
But then we did a separate guys and girls just so we had a little bit more control over the balance. And that's all that really happened, which is why you hear like things pushing up and down. Okay, so then there is, of course, Dick had all the choirs do this overlap. So
If I had the time, I could change the world.
actually, I don't mind. It's a great question, Dennis. I actually don't mind if people are a little bit out of time, because it's like it gives it width. When things are like, this was a great quote from Andy Wallace when he started talking about getting things a long time ago. I'd love to interview him, talking about he was talking about getting stuff on Pro Tools that was so perfectly in time that everything sounded small. And I think that's really important, that we have stuff that's a little bit, bleeding into each other. We didn't have enough headphones to get in it. So as Anne is talking about here, so what we did is we had the speakers playing back through the live room, and then we had mics on the choir, and then I flipped the phase of the music recorded in the live room. Does it make sense? I'll do it really slowly. I'll explain it to you again. Choir in a room, mics in a room, recording choir, no headphones, speakers blasting into the room at them, mics pointing towards the choir. So there's not that much bleed, but there's a little bit of bleed. Choir leaves the room, no levels are touched, we record the music into the room. Then that is flipped, the phase is reversed, the polarity is reversed and put up against the choir, and it cancels out most, not all, but most of the bleed.
If I had the time, I could change the world. Got to find the time.
It's a very weird volume automation edit there. Let's see what it sounds like in the track.
If I had the time, I could change the world. Got to find the
Yeah. That was definitely something that was definitely something. You know what that was? That was because this used to go into the console, and I pushed it harder going in. And what happens when you're using a hybrid situation, because we're doing this unhybrid now, is all you're doing is you're hitting compression louder, and it's not necessarily getting louder. Tricky but simple physics, yeah. And it's been done for decades. I did it with the Phrase cover, and also Daniel Powter's cover of, and Damien McGinty. I've done it 3 times. 3 covers of Happy Christmas, War is Over. Okay, the last giveaway. Let's do the last giveaway. The last giveaway is this. What should we do? Last but no means least. Let us... Oh, you know what? We've done favourite delay. What's your favourite reverb? Because today's all been about delays and reverb. What... oh, yeah, Mark says you don't miss the violin anymore. Okay, that's good. The choir did it for you. It's fantastic. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of people did that with a flip phase. I also know that the first Rage Against the Machine record was done like that because Zach couldn't sing with headphones on, which is fine. He didn't want to sing with headphones. He wanted to perform live, so he was jumping around holding a 57. So lots of people have done that phase trick. And it's not perfect, but it's good enough for rock and roll. We're not making jazz here. We're not doing classical music. This is rock and roll. So a bit of bleed, a bit of wrongness is okay. Give away your SSL. No, that's not happening. But thank you, Anne. So, last but no means least, we've got a couple of minutes left. What is your favorite reverb? Cyclops, go back and watch it. Little Plate. I haven't tried the Little Plate yet. I missed that one. I know they gave it away. Oh, Valhalla. That's a good one. Brainworx gets some shout out. The Valhalla's good. A 480L. Nice, Gautier. Eventide. Chromaverb, Revaluation, don't know that one. Furman Spring, H-Delay, Little Plate, Slate, Mixverb, TC Electronics. And you have some good gear. We need to do your studio. We need to film at your studio. Slate Reverbs, Valhalla, and Manny Mannequin, I don't know which one he has. I don't know what Kokos reverb is, and it won't show. It keeps coming up as hidden because it thinks it's a swear word. Liquid Sonic, Seventh Heaven, Waves, Abbey Road. We're going to try those. We're definitely going to try those. Impulses, Logic Space Diviner. Abbey Road plates are stunning. T-Rex. Watch the others when they're finished. PCM 70, Manny Verbs, EMT 140, R-Verb, Verb Suite by Slate, H-Verb, Abbey Road, Valhalla, My Garage, that's a good answer. Obsidian, easy to ruin trap with reverb if you're having trouble, start low, like take 3 out of 10, Little Parade. My Bathroom is a good one. SBX 90. Okay. So the Reefer reverb. Great. Abbey Road, Eventide, Waves True Verb Slate is great as well. H Reverb. Wonderful. All right, Matt, who won? This is our last one. I have a client arriving any second. We're going to do some rock and roll. We'll probably do some stuff either on Facebook or Instagram. Maybe we'll go on Facebook Live today. That might be kind of fun. Oh, wow. So 3 people in the last 6 minutes have bought this course. Thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much. That's really, really wonderful. Thank you. Thank you ever so much. Absolutely wonderful. Really, really wonderful. Ah, lovely. Well, thank you. Congratulations. Chromaverb. I don't know the Chromaverb. Let me know what that is. I thank you, everybody. And look, I'm sorry I got a little uppity there with somebody trash talking, but this is a really, really important cause. And I suppose I'm more emotionally attached to this than I am on some of the others. This is money that goes to kids. This is like some of the best players in the world. I mean, let's go through it. It's Leland Sklar, one of the greatest bass players around and one of the sweetest people. Danny Serafin. It's Elliot Easton, Jennifer Batten, Freddie Mandel, Carmine Appice played on this and sung on it. I think he played some percussion and he sung backgrounds. I mean, the list is endless. So many talented people, plus Sunset Sound gave 2 free days. I mean, there was probably hundreds of thousands of dollars of free time in musicians and studios, mastering engineer. Everybody worked on this for free so they could raise money for charity. And that's what's so beautiful about this. And, you know, I know, John, sometimes you have to, you know, sometimes you do have to call it out. It's just one of those things. It's like, you know, I know, but I don't want to be, you know, one of the things I hate, no, I don't like the word hate. One of the things I dislike is when people get too riled up by this stuff. But I think I'm more emotionally invested in this than I would be if it's just somebody saying that they don't like what I do. Because you don't have to like what I do, because that's okay, because I'm not an expert. I'm not somebody telling you that you shouldn't high pass because I want to be well known. You know, I'm just telling you the truth. You know, I'm trying to help. So I really, really appreciate it. It looks like my client is standing outside the door, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you ever so much. Thank you for everybody that's bought the course and has helped with this. We're going to get back to the wonderful world of rock and roll, create some more rock and roll history. We'll probably go on Facebook Live or Instagram Live. Check out one of those. I'm trying to figure out how to turn it off. And thank you ever so much. You all rock. See you very, very soon. You all rock. You're absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Have a marvelous time recording.